Hey, hey, hey. This is your girl, Sada Star, coming to you with another episode of A Day in the Life of the Alpha Woman, the official podcast of the Easy Breezy Life community. Before I jump into today's topic, I just want to remind everyone that the Easy Breezy Life is intended for education and entertainment purposes only. We believe in seeking out to get your professional help as you see fit because after all, the Easy Breezy Life is a group project. So, today I'm going to talk about the holiday frenzy and what has become my life in November of 2019, y'all. But before I do that, I'm going to take a quick break and share some tips on ways that you can save time and money to level up in your easy breezy life. We'll be right back. Want to know how I save tons of money on a Caribbean vacation while earning cash back? It's easy. The answer is Rakuten. Sign up online today using the link in our episode notes so you can start saving and earning cash back on your favorite online stores. Looking for a way to build a fashionable and trendy workwear wardrobe but can't seem to gather the coins? Then check out New York & Company's amazing subscription service, New York & Company Closet. Get access to hundreds of outfits that you can rotate on a monthly basis for an affordable monthly fee. Check out the link today in our episode notes to get access to your next fashionable wardrobe. And we are back. So, if you joined us last week, or really the last couple of episodes, I have had a few special guests join me to talk about things like looking good and feeling good, Jesus and our mental health, and really how we should all be striving to better our community. I want to thank Dr. Charlene Lawson. I want to thank Kelly from Life Essence UK and my brother in Christ, Mr. Lewis Spears, for joining me for those collaborations. Great episodes that even I learned so much about because, again, iron sharpens iron and we have so much to gain from one another. So I'm just really grateful that I was able to connect and share insight and also learn so much from them. So shout out to them again for being a part of my easy breezy life because, I learn from people all the time. So today I want to talk about the frenzy that is holiday season. I want to talk about how to keep all your marbles, mental marbles, physical marbles, emotional marbles, as we go into holiday season. So just to give you some perspective, I don't even want to list everything that's going on right now with my family because it would literally sound unbelievable. Like I have just learned that some things I don't share because it's not worth it. Like who would believe what is going on in my life right now? But just to give you some perspective, my family moved. My son has a little cold that he's getting over that is taking time. And so, he needs a lot of love and attention. I'm in school. I am working, but taking some days off. Let me tell you, I have never used my days off like I did in this semester. Like this is just the semester of using my actual vacation days. Because you know what? They are meant for you. And sometimes you got to take a mental health day, which I have taken several this semester. And let me tell you, when I don't take my breaks, everybody feels it and sees it. And so I don't want to be cranky, all up in your face, all up in your ear. I have learned to use my days the way they're supposed to be used for me and my family. Okay? So today, I want to give you guys a few ground rules that I'm setting for myself as we go into holiday season. These are things that I'm going to try to implement for myself this year that I have not done in the past. And I'm hoping that, one, I'm successful, but that I can also share them with you so that you can figure out what you're going to do. So the biggest thing about going into holiday season is that, if you have strained family relationships, if you have tough family relationships, which really, if you got more than two family members, like there's going to be a strain somewhere. I have realized that conflict is really a part of the human experience. And if you stay in relationship with people long enough, if you grow relationships deep enough, you are eventually going to encounter conflict. And what I have been trying to do for myself is to just set up some principles for myself about when conflicts arise in those intimate relationships or my close relationships, and how I'm going to address them before they actually come up. Because right now, for me, and probably for you, a lot of tension comes around how I spend my time, with whom I give my time, how I prioritize my time. And so there are certain conversations that I'm willing to have, and there's some that I'm just not willing to have. And I am getting better and better about being unapologetic about that. But that would lead me into my first point about going into holiday season. Number one, you want to set some clear boundaries and expectations. I know y'all are really tired of me talking about boundaries, but I have learned that really the boundaries are the things that save our life. Even in the Bible, when God gives us boundaries and gives us commands and tells us what to do, those boundaries are really meant to help us choose life and not death. And that sounds so cryptic, but I always think of when I'm choosing to cross or not cross a boundary, I'm either choosing life or choosing death. And so I hate to keep it so black and white, but I think we've made things so complicated. And my goal is to try to simplify my life and hopefully help you simplify yours. So number one thing I'm doing this season is setting expectations. If I have family members who I know have tension, we're going to have conversations. Hey, we are having this gathering. Can I count on you to bring peace? Because the way that I'm moving in my house is you can come in peace or don't come at all. Seriously. I have to protect my peace, and I very deeply believe that my home has to be a healing environment for my son, for me, for my husband. We have been through so much, and I am so serious about walking into a season of healing, of rest, and I will wrestle for my rest out of anybody's hand who tries to take it away from me at this point. And so, yes, you got to set some expectations and boundaries with your family members, with your friends, with your loved one about what we are doing this holiday season. Like, one thing I could tell you for sure, ain't nobody getting no gifts. You might get a candy cane and a card, but I am not doing gifts this year because my family just had a major purchase. We are settling into a new home. And guess what? Moving, settling, establishing, these things cost a lot of money. And I do not have time to be Santa Claus or Father Christmas or whatever it is they're calling it these days. All I know is people just going to have to receive love this holiday season. That's number one. Set expectations. Expectations about what you will give, how you will spend that time, what are the boundaries, whose events are you going to, whose events are you showing face, which events are you going to miss and why. Just know your why, because if you know your why, it makes it a lot easier when you start getting questions, when people start getting upset. So like another thing for me is because my son has medical challenges, people got to take off their shoes or put on some shoe covers when they enter my house. Hey, I'm so sorry for folks if they feel like that's being anal, but this is what it takes to be around us and be in our space this holiday season. And anyone who does not value our family or value our life is going to have to just, maybe stay home or go somewhere else with no hard feelings at all. The second thing is keeping it simple. As I started to think about Thanksgiving and Christmas and all these plans, I just started to get overwhelmed with the planning, overwhelmed with what I was cooking, overwhelmed with the ambiance and what's the setting going to look like. And then I realized this really doesn't have to be a production, right? If you have family members who are going to help cook, then let them come over and help you cook the night before or the day of. If you got family members who are willing to do some potluck-like activities, let them do some potlucks and bring things over to your house. If you ain't got family members who are ready to cook, you might want to think about catering it. Hey, and it doesn't have to be a special caterer. ShopRite caters. Walmart will deliver some groceries to your house. And, maybe you have some local restaurants who are running some specials for the holiday. You got to hit up every resource you have. And you have to remember that the most precious resource you have in life is you. And so if you are high powered, you're working all these hours, you're putting in there, bringing in the checks, or maybe it's not that big of a check. It's either time or money, right? It's either time or it's money. And I have learned that there is a delicate balance between valuing my time and valuing money. I'm not saying you should go out and waste all your money and trying to live this easy breezy life, but I'm saying that we have to make some decisions. Like, is it really worth it for me to peel all the potatoes and mash them and make sure that I have custom mashed potatoes? Will that get me into heaven? Will that get me into my next step? Will the applause that I get for banging mashed potatoes lead to my desired outcome in life? No, because I'm not a chef. And so I'm at a place where I have essentially made the choice that certain things I'm going to invest my time in because either they're my gifts, my talents, I love them, and other things we're just going to make sure they happen. And everyone's not always happy with that, but it's just the reality of where we are right now. So do whatever it is you got to do to keep this holiday season simple. Pre-order some food, get some stuff delivered. I love me some Amazon Prime. If you don't have Amazon Mom or Amazon Prime, you want to look in the notes section because they're giving you a 30-day free trial. Try that mess out. Once you go Prime, you will never go back. The other thing is take your vitamins. Take your vitamins, sis. Right now, I'm on a liquid chlorophyll aloe vera little elixir, and I try to remember to take my gummy vitamins because, they taste like candy. And so I'm more likely to remember them when they taste like candy. Not to say that I do gummy vitamins all the time. There are other organic, better ways for you to take your vitamins, but I'm taking gummy vitamins right now. And the way that I think about it is better to get these vitamins with a little bit of sugar than not get vitamins at all. Judge me if you want to, but this is what we're doing. We're keeping it simple and eating my gummy vitamins. The other thing is you need to think about taking a day or two off. Taking a day or two off from your loved ones. Taking a day or two off from work to prep for the holidays. Now, I was someone who used to save all these sick and vacation days for I don't know what, but I have learned that it is better for me to give away the sick and vacation days than for me to be out for real. 1 or 2 days off from work, depending on what you do. If you're not life essential, life-saving staff, really should not have the whole thing crumbling down. And if the whole thing crumbles when you walk away, then we have to think about how we're leading at work and whether we are training other people to become self-sufficient leaders or how to be interdependent leaders, or if we got to be in charge of everything, making everything move. There's a delicate balance. The other thing you want to think about is moving a little bit slower. Can we get some more white space on the schedule? Can we clear some things off of our desk? Can we communicate and set some boundaries and expectations with folks and saying like, hey, I really wanted to get this thing to you at this time, but I'm not going to be able to do that. Where can we begin to negotiate expectations, negotiate deadlines, negotiate commitments? Because there's only one you. And I realize that a lot of the times why we're not doing these things is because we want to be perfect. We not only want to be perfect in our own eyes, but we want to manage how everybody else sees and perceives us. So you're just so super absorbed with your reputation that you would rather suffer in silence than to have anyone think that you're either not sharp or on time or don't got it together. And let me tell you something. In this season of my life, people can think whatever they want. People can think whatever they want because I am so serious about my healing journey, no matter how messy it looks. I am so serious about figuring out how to balance all of this, no matter how imperfect it looks. Like, if I talked about in one of my previous episodes, the difference in the way that sometimes women of color in leadership approach work and how other demographics approach work. Again, feeding off of advice that I've gotten from really successful people. And realizing that the truly successful people are not doing all the things all the time. They're making decisions and negotiating on a daily basis to manage everything on their plate. So what can you do to move a little bit slower? What can wait until, hey, maybe the new year? Something else you want to consider is maybe you just need to remember the goal of what we're doing and why we're doing it. The whole purpose of the holidays is to enjoy the company of those you love. The whole purpose of the holidays is to gather, is to be grateful. And if we're so stressful about a task list, it's going to be hard to show some gratitude. So what can we be grateful for in this season? Like right now, I'm grateful for my husband. I'm grateful for my son. I'm grateful for God keeping us. I'm grateful for my loved ones. I'm grateful that I have community. I'm grateful that I have people who check on me. I'm grateful for my work life. What are you grateful for? I'm grateful for my bosses, my colleagues, my direct reports. I'm grateful for the interns I get to work with. I'm grateful for my students, right? So start counting off the things that you're grateful for, because that also will help alleviate your stress and help recenter and refocus you. And then, of course, keep your eyes on Christ. It is so difficult for me in stressful times to lift my hands in worship. But I know that in those times, that is the time that I need to be in the presence of the Lord the most. Because for me, worship, praise, recentering, I have learned is my antidepressant, is my stress relief, is my anti-anxiety. I'm not saying that this is the case for everyone. I'm just telling you what works for me. Being in God's presence, spending more time at his feet, spending more times playing worship music nonstop in my house. Like seriously, right now, the thing that is on repeat is Psalm 42 by Tori Kelly from her album. Oh my goodness, that song is giving me so much life. And it's because I've kind of realized that I can't live my easy breezy life without Jesus fueling me every single day. And the Bible teaches us that man cannot live by bread alone. So I'm living by the word of God. I'm living by the breath of God, and I am living by the strength of God. So those are my quick tips. Set some clear expectations. Keep it simple. Take your vitamins, girl. Move a little bit slower. Take that sick day if you need to for your mental health. And remember the goal. We want to show others we love them. We want to be loved. We want to fill our homes with joy. And I know that everyone is not fortunate to be surrounded by family right now. You might be going through a season of separation. You might be going through a season of isolation. And let me tell you, I have been in those seasons where it feels so hard to not be able to be with your loved ones, rather because of things that have happened or, one thing or another. But in that time, I am just hoping that the Spirit of God will give you comfort, that you will turn on the praise music, that you will find joy in the people that God has sent in your life, and that you won't be afraid to reach out. I always believe that no matter what season we're in, God always sends us a ram in the thicket. And it sounds weird, right? But the story of the ram in the thicket comes from Abraham being asked to sacrifice his only son, Isaac, to God, the son that he prayed for, the son that God promised, the son that was supposed to make him open up the doors for him to become a father of many nations, and him being willing to sacrifice that son. And when he gets ready to give Isaac up to the Lord sends a ram that replaces that sacrifice and takes the place of Isaac. A ram in the thicket for me can be a person, it can be resources, it can be open doors, it can mean anything. Ask God, who are the friends? Where is the ram? Where should I be looking in this season? Where is my blessing coming from? Because he might be sending you people who can fill your heart if you are struggling with a place of emptiness. A lot of times, isolation and separation comes before elevation. And if you are feeling alone in this holiday season, if you are feeling sad, if you are crying, I want you to know that I have been there. I feel your pain, and that there is a comforter in Jesus, and God never really truly leaves us alone if we open our eyes to see the help he has sent in front of us. So that's always my message for you. Trust God. He will send you the marvelous help that you need. And let's do our best to enjoy this holiday season and not let it become a stressful thing that leads to our downfall. I love you so much. Have a blessed week. Go out there. Don't really kick butt. Eat some turkey. Eat some chicken. I don't know. Eat some mac and cheese. But celebrate your family. Celebrate the Lord. Celebrate the good things that He has done in your life. And we will see you next week.